Friends, it's the feast of the Exaltation of the Holy Cross today. All around the world, Catholics are celebrating this feast, and I just wanted to make a few points on the matter because as someone who works in faith and the arts, it's important to remember that the via pulchritudinis, the way of beauty that the Church talks about, isn't just all about making things look beautiful on a superficial level. The Church talks about truth, beauty and goodness. That's what the Catechism of the Catholic Church talks about in relation to the arts. So insofar as we seek the truth, things are beautiful. So when it comes to the cross, I have two crucifixes at home that mean the world to me. One of them was carved by my dad when I was about to make my first Holy Communion, and it's a beautiful handmade crucifix that my dad lovingly carved for me. And I remember getting it at the age of about 7 and bringing it into primary school and getting the parish priest to bless it. And it means a lot to me. That's probably the item that I would grab out of my house if my house was on fire. I also have another beautiful crucifix that I was gifted by my brother and sister-in-law when I became godfather to their first child. And that crucifix also means the world to me and hangs on my living room wall. And I remember when I was getting that crucifix blessed, the priest said, "Gosh, that is as beautiful a crucifix as I have ever seen." What's beautiful about the image of a nearly naked man hanging on an instrument of torture? Because let's face it, the cross was such a barbaric way to die and such a common way to die. There were so many people who died claiming to be the Messiah even. So we remember Jesus not really because of the cross, but because he rose from the dead. Because there were loads of people who died on the cross and loads of people who claimed to be the Messiah, but he died on the cross and then rose again from the dead after 3 days, just as he said he would. So we remember him all these 2,000 years later, and still that challenges people. But how can the cross be beautiful? Only because it's allied with the truth. And Jesus says, "I am the way, the truth and the life." So truth is an attribute of God. And insofar as we look at the cross through the eyes of faith, we can see the beauty in it because it's the path to our salvation. Just as when we look through the eyes of faith, even our own sufferings can, in a sense, become beautiful. And St. John Paul II, in his letter to artists in 1999, quotes the encyclical Gaudium et Spes, and he talks about the fact that artists have to be allied with the truth, and that it's not just the beautiful on a superficial level, but even when art looks at even the most unsettling aspects of evil that affect our lives, in a sense, by creating art, it beautifies it, it raises it to a level of contemplation, which is almost redemptive. It allows us to look through the eyes of faith, through the eyes of the artist, and glimpse something new in the meaning of it all. So I wish you the happiest feast of the exaltation of the Holy Cross. And again, that amazing paradox that is our Christian faith, that somehow in the lifting up of this man on the cross, a dying man with nails in his hands and a crown of thorns on his head, in that lifting up, we can celebrate something of beauty because of our faith. Truth, beauty and goodness. The way of beauty, the via pulchritudinis as the Church calls it, a legitimate and a blessed path to faith. Happy feast day from the Archdiocese of Glasgow Arts Project. God bless.